Welcome to Chats with Fjook. I'm your host, Fjook, and as you can tell by the title, we're talking about Daggerheart today. I think it's called Daggerheart.
That it is.
With me to talk about it, I have Mike here.
Hello, everybody.
So, I've not played Daggerheart or looked into it. Why don't you tell me about it?
Daggerheart's a fantastic system recently released by the Critical Role. As you have probably heard them from their, Deus Ex Machina, the Mighty Nine, whatever campaign 3 and 4 are called, because I don't personally watch those. I'm more of a Legend of Evantris fan myself. Um, But I gotta say, while I might not watch their live plays, I love their RPG. It is a fantastic system that really straddles the fine line between diceless RPG systems and crunch RPG systems. So, like, the old classic improv, yes, but also the history of tabletop wargaming that Dungeons and Dragons found itself in.
So, does it use all of the funky dice that D&D use? This?
Yes and no. For the most part, the players will be using D12s, D10s, sixes, and fours. I've not come across an eight, but I mean, I'm sure it's there. I believe the DM uses a D20, but I've only done it as a player. Um, but it's actually the D12s that is the hero in this system. And the reason they did that, according to Matt Mercer, is because it gives a more granular pass or fail system rather than just the D20. So when you roll the dice, you take two die 12, you roll them, you compare them, you add an attribute or a bonus, whatever to that. Does it beat the difficulty? Huzzah! However, uh, there is an important thing with the Daggerheart system is that it not only operates on a pass fail, but it also operates on a fear and hope system. So one of your d12s you're assigning as a hope die, and the other of your die 12s is a fear die. And so while you still add the total together, like let's say you roll a 5 on your hope die and a 4 on your fear. Well, total on the die roll would be a 9, but with hope, because hope was the higher number there. And then you would add your attribute bonuses and all that and see if you pass the difficulty. And that's where I think the system really shines because you can succeed with hope, you can fail with hope, you can succeed with fear, and you can fail with fear. And it goes into the improv ideas of yes and, yes but, no and, no but. And those are kind of the guiding principles for Daggerheart, which I think makes it a really solid system.
Does it use does it use those principles in regards to its combat?
I would say so. I mean, it's still ultimately a yes, no system, right? Like, do you hit the enemy? Do you not hit the enemy? Um, and the combat system's also interesting because uh, you know you only have about 8 to 10 hit points, and so do your enemies. You do have armor as well, which I mean they kind of act as a hit point bubble to you. Actually, for those people who play Hades, it's basically a ward that can absorb X amount of damage before it that one armor point is used up. So I really appreciate that. Um, and yeah, the combat system's also unique in that the initiative, well, at least the way we play it, is that it's the group, the whoever is in the group can go, and their turn doesn't end until they do an action. So whenever a dice is rolled, effectively. Once the die is rolled and it's resolved, unless you have something that lets you roll again or do another action, then your turn is done, and then it'll advance to the game master there, or it can be another player's turn, so on and so forth. So, and I find that at first it's a little weird to wrap your head around, because especially if you're coming from like 5th edition or any previous versions of Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, everyone's used to the hard initiative, and Daggerheart goes, initiative is was great in the 70s and 80s, but why are we still using this archaic system of deciding who goes first? If you have a great idea and the other group members are okay with it, why don't you go first? Why do you have to wait if you rolled poorly on your initiative for the last thing, for the last action in the turn order? Just do it. And so I really appreciate that aspect of it.
That this is probably going to be it. That reminds me of a system that I'm going to be start running on hopefully this Sunday. I don't know if you've heard of it at all. Have you heard of Fantasy Age at all?
Fantasy Age, I may have.
Have you played?
Is that the one that's in? Is that the one inspired by Final Fantasy?
No, it is the. Have you played the Dragon Age RPG at all?
Oh yeah, I played the Dragon Age RPG.
Did it have stunts in it?
Yes.
The Fantasy Age is basically the generic version of the Dragon Age system, and I like the stunts that it has, especially the stunt where you can go first in initiative. That is what you reminded me of.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but I mean, you certainly can use your resources, like because hope is not only a item on the die, but it's also a resource that you spend and accrue as you play. And it lets you do various cool things, like it lets you cast powerful magic abilities, or if you're a magic user, or martial abilities if you're a non magic user, spells by a different name. Um, it lets you like heal, or even just shrug off damage at times, overcome certain things. It's really cool how they brought that all together. And yeah, with Fantasy Age, Dragon Age, I have played that before. I enjoyed it. It's, if anything, you could say that, if we're going like pure improv games, uh, that's definitely, Fantasy Age would be closer to the Dungeons and Dragons, the Pathfinders, than Daggerheart. Daggerheart's, I would say, like one more tick closer to the more improv than the Fantasy Age, because it doesn't have that initiative order kind of thing.
Um, if it's more improv, how do classes and races, are they improv as well?
The ancestries and classes are built into the game. They're baked in. They're very important. You can absolutely create your own ancestries if you'd like. That's no problem. But fundamentally, as your character, as you create your character, you are given questions on your character sheet to help build group dynamics. So it's kind of like the bonds and flaws of 5th edition, but it's far more organic. So like I play a seraph, which is their version of a paladin cleric kind of thing, and yeah, I have several questions on my character sheet that make me ask other players questions in how they know me. What have I done for them? What thing do I do that my character does that has annoyed them, kind of things, right? And it helps build those dynamics, both positive and negative, because I mean, frankly, friction causes drama, and drama is what we're here for. Uh, if I can, did I even write it out? Was I smart enough? Oh yeah. So like, which god did you devote yourself to? What incredible feat did they perform for you in a moment of desperation? How did your appearance change after taking your oath? Those are all background questions that you are answering yourself. But then there's the connections. What promise did you make me agree to should you die on the battlefield? I have to ask a player that. Why do you ask me so many questions about my god? You've told me to protect one important member of our party above all others, even yourself. Who are they and why? So those are questions you want to ask multiple players to build those connections. Now, thankfully, we have a group of 6 in our Daggerheart, so it was easy to ask one question from each group of players, like how are we connected? How are we building these ties? And it all helps that we're a bunch of former theater kids too, so we're good with that. We know how to improv and do the yes and kind of things.
So is character creation much quicker than 5th edition then?
I would say once you know how to build a Daggerheart character, once the flow is okay with you, 100%. I mean, 5th edition itself is pretty quick to build a character. I've never really struggled with that. Uh, Really, it would just be knowledge of either system. I mean, if I were to time myself to create both, I'd probably still create a 5th edition character faster, if only because 5th edition doesn't really require that much addition to like the bonds, the flaws, and all that. Whereas with Daggerheart, the connections are important, and you want to work with your fellow party members to build those connections. So,
It
I,
it sounds like 5th edition, while it's quicker, is still more crunchy than character creation in Daggerheart.
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like with Daggerheart, you still got a lot of plus ones to this. You get this bonus when you reference this in role play or combat or whatnot. It's not without its crunch, right? But it definitely is less crunchier than 5th edition, and way less crunchier than Pathfinder.
I am well aware of how crunchy Pathfinder is, especially 1st edition. I haven't been able to wrap my head around 2nd edition, so no idea if it's crunchier than 1st edition.
Can't say never played first, so.
So, would you run Daggerheart in the future?
I mean, it it certainly is a fun system to play. I'd probably love to run it. And in addition to being a system that I appreciate and am familiar with, it's also very similar to well, I would say it's similar in Exalted in certain aspects. I can draw a lot of some parallels to that. But one of the things I love about the system is that in the book itself, it has campaigns already there for you. So I think it has about uh, 8 campaigns, but don't quote me on that number, that are bare bones enough for you to like either use wholesale and that is your world that you're going to play in, or you can just take the parts that you like, discard the rest, and run with it. Or if you just want to do the whole this is your world and run it yourself, that is perfectly acceptable as well. We're playing the Dry Gulch campaign. Please don't quote me on the exact name, but it's basically the Shadows of Colossus or Attack on Titan, giant monsters uh, theme meets Old West. So it's you know cowboys and Indians versus giant monsters kind of thing, and you can run it as the players are defending a town, which is what we're doing. Or, I mean, you can have it as a bunch of train heists and bank robberies if you want, and you're the guys keeping ahead of the monsters as they rampage. Or even the monsters don't even have to exist. You can just ignore that part and just stick to the Old West theme. And that's just one of many. There's actually a whole bunch others available. There's like the Shadowfell kind of one, the Umbra. That's the one that Critical Role had. They did the live play of for a couple episodes. There's a Horizon Zero Dawn inspired one where it's a post-apocalyptic techno future. Animals are basically replaced with cybernetic or robotic organisms, and you're playing as like a survivor in that future. There's modern day. There's a Delicious in Dungeon inspired one, which sadly we that one came third in our vote for which campaign we wanted to play. So we were close to playing that one, which would have been my favorite. So yeah, it's they have a lot of options already there for you for the new GM that's unfamiliar with the system, or you just want to use it, and they are. I have no complaints with what I've seen of them. So I like what they give you, and how easy it is to start up a campaign. There's no it takes a lot of the startup work off the table for you. So instead of staring at a blank Word document, you have stuff in front of you. And it's asking you these questions. It's giving you these prompts to start that creativity and get your campaign off the ground.
I know Dungeons and Dragons, both 3.5 and 5e, have an OSR, so that version of them is really cheap. But if you want to get into D&D, any edition, you have to buy the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual, the Dungeon Master's Guide. Is it the same for Daggerheart?
As far as I'm aware, let's see here. I know that there is definitely the player core book. My copy finally arrived. I'm going to pick it up next week. But as for like the actual, uh, yeah, so there's just the core book, Daggerheart Core, and then there's a quick start adventure for more adventure options. And it looks like there are two. No, these are not even. These are just additional character classes. So yeah, it's just the one book right now, the one actual book that you need. There are plans for additional books and supplements that that's in the works right now. So I have no doubt about it that we're going to see more sooner rather than later. But yeah,
It's so much nicer when a game you can just buy one book and not have to have three books for it. You know what I mean?
I understand all too well. Actually, funny you should mention that because I play Warhammer Fantasy Fourth Edition tabletop role playing game, and Crucible Seven, the publishers of it, just released information that there's going to be a fifth edition out, which I am grateful for, but also means that that's going to be new books to buy. So, well, I mean, we play on Foundry for the most part, so uh, but yeah, get back on that treadmill.
So, what is your most favorite thing about? Let's end this interview by asking what is your most favorite thing about Daggerheart.
That is a good question. One of the things I would say that my most favorite thing about Daggerheart is how flexible it is. Now, I'm one of those guys who I enjoy customization. I enjoy playing what I want to play, and one of my favorite classes to play is a paladin. I like being that holy warrior, getting divine magic fueling my crusade as I go off to be a noble knight and save the world effectively, right? So, and Daggerheart does the paladin archetype so well with the seraph. It's and then the way you can build it and the way you can create your backstory with the prompts, with the campaign background there, and how it all mixes together so you can come up with this character that you just love playing. And I do. I love playing my character. We haven't played him that much because unfortunately one of our players got severely ill, but she's on the mend now, and we're hoping to start back up again soon. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's even though we're playing in the American Old West, I'm playing a samurai character. My loving partner Theta, she's playing a robot inspired by Doctor Who. We have a psychotic mushroom character that's 3 feet tall and loves eating people's brains. Not because she's malicious, because she wants to experience some humanoid emotions. And we have a satyr gunslinger called Calamity Jane, who just has some of the worst luck in the Old West. And I just love how these, how it really, you asked me the favorite part. The whole thing is my favorite part. That is the entire system is a fun, sociable game that lets you really get that troop play where the DM is involved all the time. All the player characters are trying to help each other out so that it's less time with staring at your phone waiting for somebody to do something, or your 5th level wizard debating, am I really gonna cast fireball this combat round? Yes, you are. Just cast fireball. Everyone's waiting for you to cast fireball. um Versus, let me help you on this combat roll. Hey, here's a power. Here's go. It just goes and goes and goes, and it's so much fun. I really think Critical Role, Matt Mercer and company knocked it out of the park with Daggerheart, and I think you should probably give it a whirl. I'm pretty sure the playtest materials are still online if you ever wanted to just look it over. I mean, it's not the final rules, but if you can't find the book, there's the Nexus that you can purchase it as a digital copy and get everything there. And I think you deserve it. the world's a the world's not a nice place right now, but that doesn't mean you can't bring a little joy into it.
Thank you, Mike, for having this chat with me, and thank you, viewers. And if you've made it this far, why don't you tell me what you had for lunch in the comments below?
And make sure you like and subscribe.